Yesterday, I sat beside a flushing elf named Ginger Snap. She is a squat, plump woman whose knickers fit her like tights. Complementing the overall look is a thick pair of oversized glasses and a swarm of plastic berets she uses to clamp down her hair. I had noticed Ginger Snap back in training and am surprised she's lasted this long. No one can say she's not enthusiastic. Any more spirit and they'd have to medicate her. Her problem is that she's, well, stupid. During training, she had her hand in the air every 2 minutes, asking questions that were so obvious I wondered how she ever managed to find her way to the 8th floor. We'd be running overtime, ready to go home, and she'd raise her hand and ask, "Can we wear our costumes home?" Who would want to? What possible pleasure could it give you to board the subway dressed as a gnome? The management had already laid down the law about our uniforms. Her question was pointless. It was like asking, can we force children onto Santa's lap at knife point? No. The answer is no. Now, if you could just sit down and shut up. At the end of our training session, I watched her approach a manager asking if she could work as an elf year-round. I've met elves from all walks of life. Most of them are show business people, actors and dancers, but a surprising number of them held real jobs at advertising agencies and brokerage firms before the recession hit. Bless their hearts. These people never imagined there was a velvet costume in their future. They're the really bitter elves. I had lunch this afternoon with someone I've code-named Flaky. She's recently moved here from Kansas City and is not very happy to be working for Santa. Every time I come upon her, she's telling someone, "I'd rather be a starving artist in New York than to be artistically starving in Kansas City, Missouri." Makes me wince. She even says this to children. I'm not a real elf. I'm an artist. Today she showed me some slides of her work. During her off hours, Flaky stays busy gluing human hair to radios and telephone receivers. Everything she touches winds up looking like a Persian cat. "Oh," I said, "what a cute idea." This was the wrong thing to say. She strenuously objected to the word cute, and then tried to sell me a blonde clock radio, telling me she'd be willing to let it go for $300. I said, aside from the fact that I don't have $300, who really wants to part the bangs of their alarm clock in order to read the time? So far, my least favorite elf is a guy from Florida whom I call the Walrus. The Walrus has a handlebar mustache, no chin, and a neck the size of my waist. In the dressing room, he confesses to being a bit of a ladies' man. The Walrus acts as though Santaland were a singles bar. It is embarrassing to work with him. We'll be together at the magic window, where he pulls women aside, places his arm around their shoulders and says, "I know you're not going to ask Santa for good looks. You've already got those, pretty lady." In his mind, the women are charmed, dizzy with his attention. I pull him aside and say, "That was a mother you just did that to, a married woman with 3 children. He says, "Hey man, I didn't see any ring." Then he turns to the next available woman and whistles, "Santa's married, but I'm not."